friends, my name is Jo and welcome back to my Bookish Corner. I decided I wanted to try to do something that I think I'm going to call my monthly diaries, and so this will be July. I am just gonna film the little things that I do throughout the month and then reading updates throughout the month as well as I go through them. And if it ends up being too much content, I'll split it into parts 1, 2, however many it needs to be. So I thought that that would be kind of a fun way to try doing a vlog style video. I do plan to still keep doing one-off videos like the TBRs, and if we go on a weekend trip or something like that, I'll do a specific vlog for that, just because those are really fun and just kind of a vibe. So welcome to my little video diaries, I guess. We're starting on July 7th, actually, because the weekend of the 4th of July, I filmed its own little vlog. I am in the middle of The Story of King Arthur and His Knights by Howard Pyle. This is a difficult book to read, but legitimately the writing is difficult to read. I'm just gonna read you some pieces from this book because it is just written in that kind of older language where it's legitimately just takes longer to get through and comprehend, but also it feels so good reading it because it feels a little bit like a challenge, which I find kind of fun. This is a paragraph of dialogue. My daughter, it hath happened that a knight clad all in white and bearing no crest or device of any sort hath twice come to our rescue and hath overthrown our enemies. Now it is said by everybody that that knight is thine own particular champion, and I hear say that he wore thy necklace as a favour when he first went out against the Duke of Northumber. Now I prithee, daughter, tell me who that white champion is and where he may be found. This book unironically uses the word verily. This is what I'm currently reading, and I'm close to halfway through, but not quite there. Honestly, it's been pretty fun. I'm not sure if it intends to be funny, but I do find it funny. There are certain parts that I think are very amusing. Let me see if I can find one of them. This I found funny, and I don't know if the intention was funny, but it was funny. I find that I have an extraordinary desire to imperil my body in this tourney. I really want to die? Okay, bro. Go for it. So, this has been kind of funny. That's kind of the only reading updates I have. I am also in the middle of a Ranger's Apprentice book, but I took a pause on that because it was moving pretty slowly and I didn't want to get stuck in a rut with it. So those are my reading updates. Tonight, we don't really have plans, so I'm probably going to do some editing. We might do some cleaning. We might do dinner in the park. Probably go for a walk because it's really nice out, so we shall see. I'm going to try this little style of video diary for the month, and we'll see how it goes. I'll talk to you in a bit. Check-in before the day gets going. Last night we had dinner at the park, which was very fun, and then we kind of just chilled. It's been a very chill couple of days so far. Today I don't have work, so I'm going to the gym with a friend, and then later this afternoon I think I'm meeting up with another friend for coffee. But other than that, it's a pretty relaxed day. I have read a little more of The Story of King Arthur and His Knights. I think I'm actually through the part about King Arthur. So I finished the Book of King Arthur, and now I'm on the Book of Three Worthies. So I think this is the part about his knights. And the part about King Arthur, there were definitely funny parts that I enjoyed. Obviously, it's really old, so there's not a lot of dialogue, and it feels very, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of character development and that kind of thing. There are a lot of knight fights, so, this guy challenges this guy, and then they whatever, and one person's spear breaks, and one person's spear doesn't, and the one whose spear doesn't break wins. So that's kind of the majority of a lot of this. There was a little bit of romance in there with Guinevere, but I think that's just about it. Basically, the Book of King Arthur covered the discovery of Arthur, so like pulling the sword from the stone and that kind of thing. And then him sort of establishing his kingdom and the round table, and then meeting Lady Guinevere and that kind of thing. So that was the Book of King Arthur, and now we're on to the Book of his Knights, and I'm on the first chapter, so I'm not sure exactly what this is going to be about. I don't know, like, which knights we cover, because obviously we're not going to do all 50 Knights of the Round Table. So we will see. I will probably do a little bit more reading today, but I'm also going to do a little bit more editing, so probably won't get super far into this. After I finish this, I'll start on like another book on my TBR. I'm not entirely sure which one I'll do yet, but I'll pick one up from the TBR and we'll go from there. So happy Wednesday morning. I am going to go get ready to work out. This is the gym fit. We have my Goose t-shirt, which I got at a farmer's market from a small business, and then I think these are Athleta shorts. That is pretty much the whole fit. And then I'm going to be wearing my Vans because my tennis shoes are dirty. Literally just walked out to the car and the drawstring bag that I use broke. Hi friends, we are back from the gym and I showered, we're clean, we're ready for the day. I apologize because this lighting is atrocious, but it is 10:55 a.m. and I have not eaten yet today, and I'm kind of craving pancakes, which like almost never happens, but we're gonna do it. So I think we have a protein pancake mix in the cupboard, so I'm gonna make some pancakes, and I thought I'd bring you with me. So we're in the kitchen where the lighting is bad, but we're just gonna have to deal. So let's make some pancakes. Okay, so in order to make this work for a single serving, I'm gonna halve it. So we're gonna do a half cup of the protein pancake mix and then 1/3 cup of water. And I might make eggs to go on the side. We'll see. Pick up a prescription that refilled, and then I think I'm gonna grab a coffee from Caribou because it's right by the pharmacy. So we're gonna do that and then probably just edit more so that I can finally finish this video, but with coffee, because coffee makes everything better. Can I do an espresso shaker but with raspberry flavor? Okay, I got an espresso shaker, oat milk espresso shaker with raspberry. I'm super curious to try it. That is not one of their normal flavors. I just asked if I could do raspberry instead because it was either honey lavender or like a caramel or white chocolate or malted mocha, and I wanted fruity. So we're gonna try it. I think I might add a little bit more of my own oat milk when we get home because it's a little bitter right now, but I do like the raspberry flavor. That's very good. But I think I need a little more oat milk in there to cut the bitter. So I think I'm gonna go home and add some of that, and then we'll finish editing that video. This is the work fit for today. I only have a half day today, so I will check in when I get home. Happy Thursday! I just got home from work and I am feeling the urge to go to the gym, which we love, that's great, want to move, be healthy, but the gym anxiety is also really high. Usually I go with my friend or I go with Cam, and that's not an option right now, so I think I'm gonna try to go by myself. I haven't gone to a gym by myself in probably over a year now, so we're gonna try. The live meter on the app says that it's light. There aren't a lot of people there right now, so we're gonna hope it's not busy. We're gonna go, we're gonna try, and we're gonna give grace to ourselves. So I'll let you know how it goes. We did it. Hated every second of it, but we did it. And we're gonna go home and make lunch and make a Diet Coke with some cream in it and treat ourselves because I hated that so much. I'm just gonna go home now. I did it though. I did it. And that's a win. All right, we changed into something comfy. Do we think it's cute? I don't know. It's kind of a lot, but it has pockets. It's comfy and it's a romper, so I only had to pick one thing instead of two, so we're wearing it. Iced latte with strawberry cold foam, and it was so good and I'm so happy with it. So I did a shot of espresso with some strawberry syrup because the strawberry syrup was homemade and it was really light because I didn't let it simmer for long enough. So I did the shot of espresso with this homemade strawberry syrup over a bunch of ice, and then added a little bit of oat milk, and then I used the little hand frother that we have with half and half and a little bit more of the strawberry syrup, and it was so good. I think this was the motivation that I needed to start making coffees at home again, because honestly, I can just have so much fun with flavors and stuff. Farmer's market fit check. Tennis shoes, cause we're walking there. New Yorker bag, and it's kind of a little bit chilly because it rained last night, so we're just doing pants and a tank top with a Gymshark hoodie because it's my favorite and I finally put it through the wash. Doing a quick check-in because I don't think I have in a minute. Yesterday we went to the farmer's market and then we're kind of just going around shopping, doing errands, that kind of thing. And then we had a party in the afternoon to celebrate a birthday. Today I'm not feeling 100%, so I'm just hanging out in bed. I did finish the story of King Arthur and his knights. It was very interesting. It was a fun little challenge to read in a different style of writing, in an older style of language. The book had multiple parts, so like the first part was about King Arthur, but then other parts were about his knights, and he was like sometimes included in the story, but like it wasn't about him. So that was interesting. It felt like multiple stories in one book. I don't really know how to rate this because it feels completely different to other things I read, so the same spectrum of a rating doesn't feel applicable. Like, it was interesting. There were some weird parts. Specifically, the story about Merlin was really strange and just like wasn't a huge fan of that. But the story itself was interesting. There were funny parts. It took a long time to get through because it was just so dense with the writing, and there was a lot of night fights, but they were all virtually the same. But there were funny parts for sure. So I'm thinking maybe like a 3.75 out of 5. Overall, I think it was a good break from what I have been reading. It was good to read something that had more difficult language as a kind of like expansion of what I usually read. So that was kind of fun. That's my check-in. I might start another book since I'm just hanging out in bed. Because I haven't in a minute. It is July 15th, so we're about halfway through the month, and I don't think I could say that I'm halfway through my TBR, but let me actually double check that. So far, I have read, I think, 2 books in July, so we're definitely not halfway through my TBR, but we have made some progress, and I am confident that we can do it. I did start reading The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. I went into this with zero context. I got it from a Goodwill, peeped the Goodwill tag, just by looking, thinking it sounded familiar, decided to try it. I definitely wish that I had read a little bit about it before I started it. Actually, to be fair, even if I had read the inside cover before starting it, it wouldn't have told me what I needed to know. This is like a mystery kind of thing, and I will say that I was intrigued. The plotline was interesting. It took a little bit to get into the story, but I started by listening to it, and that helped a lot. And then I wish this had come with content warnings, because there was a pretty triggering scene for me that I would not have read this book if I had known that it was in there. So that is also my bad for not looking anything up beforehand. But I was unaware that anything of that sort was going to be in this book. So I am going to DNF this. I'm not going to keep reading it. Not going to do that to myself. I am also going to get rid of the other 2 books in the series. I'm just going to donate all of them probably back to Goodwill. Yeah, I just wasn't aware of what was in them, and they are not for me. Yeah, so these are not going to be for me, but I do think other people could find value in them. But I would definitely look up content warnings before deciding if you would like to read this book. So then I started listening to The Red Necklace by Sally Gardner instead, and this on Spotify is narrated by Tom Hiddleston, which I thought was pretty fun. I am enjoying it so far. I think I'm only about a chapter in on the audiobook, but I plan to read more tonight. This is set in the French Revolution, which I will admit I am a little ignorant of that history, don't know a ton about the French Revolution, but I think that this is a historical fiction, but maybe historical fantasy too. Like, I think there might be a little bit of magical elements in here. I'm not entirely sure yet. So far, I think we're seeing the setup for the French Revolution. I don't think that it has begun yet. And I think that's where we're at. It looks like we have two main characters, children. This is a YA book, so they are like younger teenagers, I think. Jan and Sido are our two main characters. So Jan travels with a magician as part of his act, and Jan can read minds. Sido, so far all I really know about her is that she's the daughter of a marquis and he doesn't want her. So that's about as far as we are in that. But I am very curious about this and looking forward to reading more. That's kind of our reading updates. Cam is out golfing tonight. He's subbing in a league, so I think I'm just gonna hang out. I'm going to do some editing and I'm gonna do some reading, and that's where we're at. So those are our updates, and morning, friends. It is Wednesday, and today I have zero plans except for a quick appointment at noon. So we are gonna do a cozy reading day-ish kind of thing. Cozy summer day? Sure. We're gonna do a cozy little summer day. I don't plan to leave the house because I have been desiring a hermit day for a little bit now. Like, just don't do anything, don't see anybody, just don't leave my house. So that's what we're gonna do today. When I woke up this morning, I did continue reading The Red Necklace by Sally Gardner, and I do like it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I really know what the plot is still. Like, we definitely have our villain, and we have our main characters. I don't know if it's Jan or Yan, even though I was listening to the audiobook, I can't remember the way he said it. And Sido. But we definitely get a lot more of Yan than we do of Sido. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little more interested in Sido's character. Not sure why, but I do want to read more of her. So I'm not sure we got the main characters, we have the villain, but I'm not sure what the main conflict is. And the backdrop for all of this is the French Revolution. Like, that's beginning, getting ramped up, getting started. But there isn't really like that doesn't seem to be the main conflict for our characters. They don't seem like they're really part of the French Revolution. So I don't really know what the main like plot conflict is yet. And I'd say probably a third of the way through this book. So we'll see. I am enjoying it enough to continue reading, for sure. Like, I'm liking it. It's fun. It's interesting, incorporating the magic. It's incorporating other pieces. Like, there's a little bit with London, there's a little bit with France, and the outside of France, and then Paris, France. Like, there's a lot in this book. And that's been pretty fun. But yeah, I just don't really know what's happening. I did finally get up and just showered, and now I think I'm going to make coffee and then maybe sit on our balcony and read for a little bit. Yeah, I think that sounds like a good plan to me. I'm not sure what kind of coffee I want to make yet, but I'm gonna make a fun little drink, and then we'll sit on the balcony and drink that and read more of our book. And I think maybe later I'll edit more. It would be really fun to do some baking. That feels very cozy and very vibey. Maybe bake a little summer treat. We will see. I am just going to let this day happen as it comes, but I plan not to leave my house. So that's our little check-in. I don't really have any other updates, but let's go make coffee. s'mores latte with chocolate cold foam. However, I think I may have made a mistake by not sweetening the chocolate cold foam because I used cocoa powder and I tasted some of it plain just to see. And it, yes, tasted like chocolate, but like it wasn't sweet enough. So we'll see how this tastes. We'll do a quick taste test. Okay, the latte part itself is good. Of course, the cold foam isn't like super mixed in yet. I do like this a lot, actually, so I am happy with this. I do think next time I would sweeten the cold foam a little bit. But we're gonna take this out on the patio and because I have finished The Red Necklace by Sally Gardner. I am going to rate this a 3.75 out of 5 stars. It felt like a unique take on the French Revolution. It included elements of magic, which I thought was really cool. I like the kind of historical fiction with a blend of magic and that kind of thing. I really enjoyed the characters of Yan and Cito, but a lot of the other pieces didn't really feel fully fleshed out. I did realize that this was a series. I don't think I'll be continuing it. I just don't think I'm fascinated enough by the way the plot was going and by the pieces of cliffhangers that were left. I felt like I saw where this was going with some of the twists or surprises, and I can feel like I can see where the rest of it is going, and it's just not a concept that is as interesting to me. I do think I would recommend this if you are interested in historical fiction and the French Revolution and like that kind of magical element. It felt like it was a really good blend of those things. So I would recommend it for that piece. It did also feel like a relatively easy read. It is YA, so it was just a little bit quicker to get through. I would look up content warnings because it is about the French Revolution. There is some like darker themes to it, so I would look up content warnings for it. So those are my thoughts on The Red Necklace by Sally Gardner. I thought that it might be nice to go through my TBR for July and do a quick update on that because I've made some progress. So I had 8 books on my TBR. I had 6 that I drew from my TBR jar, a book that was a gift from Cam, and then our book club book. So this is where we're at with it. Like I said, I just finished The Red Necklace by Sally Gardner, so that's 1 done. Then I also finished The Story of King Arthur and His Knights, so that one is also done off of the TBR. I read The Summer Book by Tove Jansson over 4th of July. That's in my 4th of July vlog. Go watch that if you haven't. And then these other 2, I decided to just donate Long Shot by Mark Ammerman because it is 3rd in a series. I don't have the first 2, so it also doesn't totally look like my style, so I am just gonna donate this one. So that was another one off of my TBR. And then The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I talked about this already. I'm gonna be donating this because I just don't feel like reading the rest of it would be good for my mental health. So I am going to donate The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I got probably 39% of the way through it, 40-ish%. So this one is going to get donated. That was a DNF. And then I did have the other 2 books in the trilogy by Stieg Larsson, and I will also be donating those. So those are all of the books that are technically off of my TBR so far this month. So I am actually a little over halfway through because Long Shot and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo are being removed. So I have technically read 3 out of 8, but 5 out of 8 are being crossed off the list. So what I have left is Wonder, To the End of the World, which is part of a series, and I think I have book 2. You know what? I should make sure that this is book 1. Yes, To the End of the World is the first part of a 5-book series titled Keepers and Seekers. Okay, so this is book 1 of 5. So I will read book 1 and we'll see if I want to continue with the series. And then The Magician's Daughter was our book club pick for the month. And I think we are doing book club like July 30th. So I've got some time before I need to read this one. I have my appointment in about 30 minutes. So I think I'm going to do some editing and maybe try to find a recipe to bake this afternoon. I will talk to y'all later. Okay, I think I found my recipe. Oh, I was gonna try to look in my cookbooks. Okay, if I can't find something in my cookbooks, I'm gonna make a lemon rosemary olive oil cake. So I think I'm gonna do the rosemary, olive oil, lemon, whatever that was. Okay, I guess currently we're in a tornado watch, so I'm gonna make this run to the grocery store real quick and try to be home fast enough that I don't get caught out in a storm, I guess? I was not aware this was supposed to be happening today, so let's go to... Nothing going on up here or everything going on up here. So first, can someone please explain to me why it is the middle of July and the appropriate outfit for this weather involves a crew neck sweatshirt? It feels like fall outside, and this is unacceptable and I am not here for it. Moving on. You know how people talk about being in reading slumps where like just nothing is really good, nothing's hitting right? I feel like I've been in a music slump. I've been trying to find things to listen to and like just haven't been loving the music lately. So on the drive home today, I turned on my liked songs just on shuffle. And honestly, why did the Killers hit so hard? Like the Killers and Shinedown were just it. And I'm wondering if that's just what I'm gonna be listening to for the next week or so, because that was perfect. So those are my little side notes. Book updates. I started and finished Wonder yesterday. It's definitely like, it's a children's book. It's written for children. It is definitely like a lower reading level than what I usually read, obviously. Written for children. I did read this for the first time when I think I was in like 5th or 6th grade. It was a gift from my aunt. It's such a good book. I rated this 5 stars. Yes, it's a lower reading level, but like the point is still there. It's still really sweet and heartwarming. It is about a boy who was born with a genetic abnormality, I think, that basically his face is very different. Like there's a bunch of, it does give a description of it in the book. It's hard to kind of picture it, I think, but there's also a movie now that I've heard that people really like. So I think that that has a visual representation of it, but basically like nothing is where it usually is. Like his eyes are halfway down his face and like his ears aren't really there. And he had to have reconstructive surgery on his jaw. So basically there's a whole bunch of stuff that just makes him look really different. And this is the story about his first year going to I think it's a private school, but like he was homeschooled up to this point. And so this is his 5th grade school year, meeting other kids and being in the school. And it's just really sweet and heartwarming and a good story of like seeing the good in people and finding the good in people in the difficult circumstances. I love this is told from a bunch of different perspectives. So our main character is August. He is the 5th grader that is going to school for the first time, but we also get chapters from the perspective of his sister, Olivia, and then random characters throughout as well, seeing the situations from their perspective. So like the main conflict we get from other people's perspective as well, and like conflict with friends that he's making, we see from their perspective where it went wrong or that kind of thing. So we just get lots of different perspectives in this book, and I think that's really interesting. It's such a good book. I would highly recommend for anybody of any age. Like it's just a really important lesson on perspective, I think. The cake that I made was so yummy. So it was a lemon rosemary olive oil cake with a mascarpone whipped cream. And honestly, the whipped cream was so good. I took some cherries out later and ate some of them with it as well. That was amazing. That was a fantastic idea. But Cam and I tried the cake when he got home, and that was so yummy. It was an interesting blend of sweet and savory because of the olive oil and the rosemary, but also like the lemon and the sugar in the cake and that kind of thing. So that was just kind of a fun little summer activity to make a summery flavored cake. But I was really happy with how it turned out. I did also update my reading goal to 100 in the year because my goal was 52 and I passed that at the beginning of July. Hoping that I can hit 100 by the end of the year. I updated that on Fable and Goodreads. I am gonna end this video here because I uploaded a majority of the content I have for it and realized that it's already like an hour long. So we're gonna cut that down, obviously, but with the addition of the stuff I've taken in the last like 2 days, it's gonna be a long video. So this will be part 1 of our monthly diaries for July. And I will see you guys in part 2. We are going to be having a fun adventure this weekend, so tune in for that little mini vlog as well. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next part of the July diaries.